Perfect.
Hello.
Fantastic. So, Stephanie, how are you today?
Oh, I'm Dandy. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing super well. I mean, what better way to continuing this epic Saturday with someone as amazing, talented, and bad as you? You know what I mean?
You're so sweet. You're so sweet.
I mean, such a pleasure to have you here. Such a pleasure to speak with you. So before we start, I have to give you a proper welcome, a proper intro for someone, as I mentioned before, with such a talent and such amazing as you. So if you have seen some of my episodes before, you know exactly what I'm about to do. If not, that is perfect, so that I can surprise you. So.
Okay. Yay!
Epic, right? Epic.
I'm for it. I'm for it.
Epic. One time they told me that they should put that as an alarm, to kind of wake up and have like waking up with glory and everything. I did try it once, but I didn't wake up in glory. I woke up scared because suddenly everything quiet and then so I woke up like, what the hell,
Right? I feel like my heart would be pounding, just like, oh God, okay.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ, okay. Amazing. So yeah, welcome to the show here. Now, starting with everything here, tell me how your badass acting career started.
Oh my goodness. I got into acting whenever I was 14. Well, I guess a little bit before. I was kind of dabbling into theater, and then I was 14 in Little Shop of Horrors, and I fell in love with it. I was Audrey in Little Shop, so I had like my big blonde hair and everything, and I feel like that was just honestly the start of everything. That was the start of acting. That was the start to Marilyn. That was the start to just everything for me.
I love it. And it's so interesting, right? That the fact that sometimes whenever you do something and then basically clicks in your head and you're like, I want to do this for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It was an astounding feeling. It changed my life completely.
Nice. I love it. I mean, and as I mentioned, your career is so amazing, so cool that you even have people from Germany. That is so amazing. So amazing. I love that. And like, what were some of the challenges that you had when you originally started? Because I think it happens to all of us, right? Whenever we're starting something, at first we just don't know what the hell we're doing, and yeah, for a while at least, it's gonna be a constant of trying and failure at the same time. You know what I mean?
Completely. I like to think I've actually had quite a few challenges along my life. And I mean, to start, this goes back to whenever I was in high school, which is, I got cut from a show, and it was heartbreaking at first, but I was splitting my time so much between choir and theater and kind of understanding where it was that I fit in, because I had been singing since I was a kid, and it really challenged me to figure out what I wanted. And then even later, same thing, I moved out here to Los Angeles, and I think it was actually kind of recently that I realized what it is that I truly wanted to accomplish and what it is that I have loved. And the challenge of it being that there are these expectations and there are these ideas that, oh, well, you moved out here for this one thing. You moved out here to do this one thing. And whenever that's something that I don't have the love for it as much, but I have found so much of a greater love for this like outside of the box realm that is still with acting, that's still with performing, that's with producing, that I've fallen in love with art in a whole other way. But it's been challenging to accept that. It's been challenging to kind of think outside the box and say, this is okay, and this is okay for my life to do something different.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, with a background in theater, performing, and directing as well, which is badass, what are some of the highlight moments that you had during those performances?
Oh my goodness. I have looked back, and I feel like there have been so many. So one of my favorites was whenever I was in college, I got to perform 2 different roles in the same show. One in college and one out. It was whenever I was living in the Dallas area and going to college. And it was the show from Burt V. Royal called Dog Sees God. And I was CB's sister in college. And I was the role of Trisha. in the show at White Rock Theater outside of college, and it was so fun to get to like play the different roles there, and I loved the different aspects, like the different ways that our directors had. I mean, they were completely different. They had a totally different idea of what they were going for, and and the show, the roles themselves, I think challenged me in such vastly different ways too, because one of them, I realized like emotional recall is fantastic, but I can't do that to myself again. Like I can't go to like my own grief and my own past. I have to tap into those characters from then on, because once I was doing it, once I was like actually reliving things night after night after night, it was actually traumatic, and I had to stop. And so getting to like feel free of that and get to do like a really funny, much funnier character, but in the same show, it was much more livening. But also like getting to really put everything together from my theater background was actually, I think, 2 highlights from 2020, oddly, and that was Glamour Days vintage festival that I did with my partner in crime, Amber, and her husband, Mikey. And then my boyfriend, Noah, and we also produced a Hanukkah show in a drive-through that was COVID safe as well.
Okay.
And those were 2 just different beasts in general, but they both were very theatrical.
Yeah, I bet. That is so amazing. Wow. And like I wonder like how you usually prepare before going on stage. I mean, do you have like a ritual or like something you do before? Because I mean, under like with the time of this of all of the interviews that I have here, sometimes it will give me like very interesting kind of say rituals, right? Some of them, for example, will run a mile before actually going on stage. Some of them would just eat a bag of jelly beans and wipe, you know, kind of getting the whole mood here. So for you, like what's the thing that basically sets you up like, okay, I'm good to go, you know, like let's do it?
I sing the elephant medley from Moulin Rouge.
Really?
I've done that. I used to do that with my friend Richie back in high school. If Richie Minsky's out there still, like I know he is, we used to sing that as a duet. And so now, even if he's not around, I will put in my headphones and I will sing that song until my heart's content. And you know, just it loosens me up. I don't know, it gets my vocal cords warm, but
I love it. That is so cool, man. And like, what are usually some of the steps that you do in order to prepare a character? Now, I understand, of course, that depends on the role, but like in general, what is kind of the like the first thing you start to do in order to start this process of character creation?
So if there are any kind of real life scenarios, or if it's a period piece at all, I always research that period. And my favorite thing is once I'm able to get into the costume. It's like the switch. I feel like I'm in my character. But if I'm playing any kind of a real person, I'm going to research that till I can't stand it anymore. I mean, I'm going to probably end up waking up with that and going to bed with it. And so to me, it's like that dramaturg part of me that's just take in as much research as I possibly can for the time period, for those real people, if those are actual stories. I did a show, my last show in Dallas I ever did was called My Sister in This House, and it was based on a true story of these maids who actually killed their mistresses and their daughter. And it was crazy. It was a crazy story, but it's so fun and fascinating to actually like research the true story behind that. But I love doing any kind of research behind that. I love being able to really dive into those characters and say, okay, this is the kind of speech pattern that would fit for that time. Or if there's any kind of videos at all for those people. If not, then I think that there is some kind of freedom. Like I loved being able to be Essie in You Can't Take It With You. And that was just open. Yeah. It was like, okay, cool. This takes place in the 1940s, but at the same time, like, how can I make this my own? And how can I just be this kind of funny dancer? I am not a dancer by any means, and neither is Essie. And that was super fun to just be able to be like, cool, I'm going to not dance well. That's very great for me.
Yeah.
Do that. But
that is so cool.
but yeah, like if I'm able to, if there's anything that I'm able to adjust, I mean, obviously, like a lot of times we'll have makeup, our makeup creation team and everything, and they'll have their designs.
Mhm.
But if there's anything that I can input at all and say, I think that my character might have this little aspect, or they might have this for their lip, or this color for their eyes, or something that might set it off. I love being able to do that. I love being able to be part of that if I'm able.
Mhm.
If not, I completely respect where those designers are coming from. But it does help me in that way. And I love being able to just kind of dive in. So immediately research is number one. Number two is just once I'm able to get into that costume and just feel exactly where it is, because depending on the time period, I feel like that's going to determine my movement. That's going to determine, I could have a movement from one day to the next, but that costume is going to determine everything, and how it's going to alter my moves, and how it's going to alter how I'm standing. And so, yeah, I hope that makes sense.
I love it. No, yeah, it does make sense. It's amazing. It's badass plus two. I love it. I love it. Now, later on, then you moved to Los Angeles. So tell me about that experience, and what were some of the challenges that you had, for moving to a new city?
Well, I was originally going to move to Chicago, but I am a Texas girl, and I do not like the cold. So I took 2 steps on Los Angeles soil, and I said, this is it. I call it the wedding dress effect, because I can only imagine that that's what it's like whenever you just get that kind of indescribable feeling of this is exactly it. This is where I'm supposed to be. And that's how it felt whenever I moved to Los Angeles. And it felt like my world was just opening up. But the challenges I faced was, I was in a whole new city. I had no idea what I was doing. I was trying to go for a kind of a venue that I didn't know anything about, from theater to film, which are very, very different. But I met a lot of wonderful people, and I think that was kind of crucial to my growth, is just meeting some of these wonderful people who were so willing to help. But I did have the challenge of being so willing to please, and that included a project that I did with my first agent whenever I was out here, and it was horrible. It was absolutely terrible. This director was fresh out of Fiji. Like, he had spent 12 years in Fiji, and he'd come back, and he kind of had that like, I don't know, kind of 1980s Miami Vice type of look to him, which was cool, like, do your thing, buddy. But then he proceeded to not only treat me like a dumb blonde, but then call me a dumb blonde in the middle of all of this filming process. We had 2 different ideas of what this idea was, 2 different concepts of what this idea was supposed to be. He was scouting out areas while we were filming, which was completely unprofessional to me. And I was thinking, like, aren't you supposed to be doing this like way ahead of time prior to us filming? And he was completely unprofessional, basically cursed me out, and it made me want to quit. It made me want to quit acting in general, because I thought, if it's going to be anything like this isn't for me.
Totally.
So I think that was right off the bat. That was like my first 6 months out here. So the guy was just kind of a lunatic.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, it is challenging, right? The fact that when you move to a new city and you don't know anybody, you're kind of far away from family and everything. It does get challenging, and also kind of a little bit overwhelming at the same time, right? Especially when either you feel sad, or you have like one of those days, and you have like no one to rely on at that moment. It gets kind of lonely at some time. So
yeah, but I moved on through that and kind of got rid of that agent and found my own way. So don't let people treat me like that anymore either. So
there you go. I mean, and look at yourself now. Epic. This interview could finish super fast. I mean, I would say, so Stephanie, she's doing everything. She's killing it. She's amazing. Good night, everyone. That's it. I love it.
You're so funny.
Now, what are some of the things that you like the most about this whole creating process this whole art creating process? Like, what inspired you, or what is your goal that you're trying to achieve when you are creating art?
So my core values are to entertain and help people. I mean, that's kind of who I am. And so whenever I'm creating anything, whether it's a vintage festival, whether it's through Marilyn, whether it's through, just theater, if it's something that can suspend reality for a moment to give people just a shred of happiness for a time, especially now, like whenever everything has been so chaotic and we're just kind of like flying by the seat of our pants, figuring out what it is that we're even doing next. If I can impart a little happy moment for them, or make them forget about their troubles for a second, like that's what I want to do. And I feel like that's where art comes in. Like, I mean, as much as I want to be an activist and everything, and I am, I know that there are other voices that I need to amplify and that need to be spoken out, and I can do my job to make people happy. That's where I feel like I come in. And so, like, whenever Amber and I are working on our vintage festival and our podcasts and stuff for that, our thing is, our tagline for that is bringing the analog days to the digital age, because I think that some part of us along the lines have become disconnected, and I think that being able to bridge these gaps, bridge these ties, and being able to like come together for something, being able to come together for an event, being able to come together for a show. It doesn't matter what background you are. People can all come together for a show. People can all come together for art in one way or another and find common ground there. And I feel like that's where art is important. Art is like, it transcends every part of our differences and is able to bring us together in one aspect or another. Like, we can all see ourselves in a character. We can all see ourselves in troubles that people have through these stories. And even if it's something that's like, we had the Satin Dolls during Glamour Days Fest, and these are gals who get up there and they sing and they do a whole USO show, and they're absolutely phenomenal. And it felt so good to be able to say, I produced that. Like, I did this with my partners and brought this together. And you see these veterans who are standing up whenever they're doing the military salute to them. And it doesn't matter what their political background is. It doesn't matter where these people came from. The fact is, these people served their country, and now they're being saluted. They're being honored. And I think that just, and you could feel like the feeling of the room just kind of take a deep breath, because it was a very emotional moment. And I want to do that. I want to impart these memories and these moments on people that are unforgettable. Whatever I can do, and I want to help people. And it's just I want to make this world better through art.
I love it. I love that. That is so inspiring. That is so cool. Amazing. And yeah, I mean, I do believe that, especially these past years, right? The fact that we can get some moments to kind of get inspired, or some moments to get happy, or to kind of get away from all of the stress, and the fact that you're creating that is pretty cool.
Thanks.
That is amazing. Now, you do an amazing job of impersonating Marilyn Monroe. I mean, that is like the badass, right? That is like super badass here. But like, tell me, where the inspiration to impersonate her comes from?
So I have to go back once again to Little Shop when I was 14.
Okay.
And I will always tell this one because they put me in a white dress while I was only 14 at the time, but I had my director come up and I had people come up there like, oh man, she looks like Marilyn Monroe. She looks like Marilyn. And I hadn't even thought about it. But then I was 17 and I was going to do a cabaret show for my choir. And I was going to sing Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. But then my guys couldn't rehearse and I didn't know the implications of the song and ended up singing Happy Birthday, Mr. President in front of my whole school. And that kind of like, people were like, oh my God, you did that. Like that, you did that. And then she just kept popping up. My mom like ended up redoing my room, but it was an interesting thing because, and I think this oddly goes back to body image as well, because, you know, like in high school, I wasn't the skinniest girl by any means, not in my theater, anything like that. I was just normal. I was just me. But I remember when my director took me aside and he said, I want you to just see her. And I don't want you to ever think that there's anything like aside from you, like there's anything wrong with you, because look at her. Like, and at that moment, I just thought of it, and I thought about like, you know, this is such a glamorous woman. Like my mom would show me Marilyn movies whenever I was sick, and we would just sit there and like watch classic movies. My first Marilyn movie was Gentleman Prefer Blonde, and I loved it. I thought she was just an enigma. Like I could not stop watching her, and I realized that that's not just me, that's her in every single movie that she's in. And there was something I found to be so captivating about her. And I went off to college, and my mom completely redid my room in classic Hollywood.
So cool.
And for my high school graduation, my parents had got me this, I still have it. It's my gold record from Marilyn for River of No Return. And she's just popped up in my life. And I've tried to just be like, no, it's fine. That's not going to be a thing. But whenever that's happened, and I've tried to kind of push her away, she's come back. And so I feel like it's, in a way, it's a duty of mine to portray her honorably, and to always portray her with grace, and to never make her a caricature, but to make her something that is, because there's a living energy with her still. And in Hollywood, and you can feel it. I mean, she's truly everywhere. And like revisiting the orphanage that she used to live in, you could see from the top window, there is a direct alley that you could see was now the Paramount water tower. But at the time, it was the RKO Studios water tower. And she used to look out that window and say, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be making movies. I'm going to do this. And it was this woman, this little girl who was like manifesting her dreams, growing up and just saying, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be doing this. And I feel like, I don't know if it's something that's like, I'm supposed to keep her vision alive or keep like I don't know, but I feel like there is some bizarre connection that I have with her, because whenever I've tried to be like, all right, Marilyn, I'm gonna go do my own thing, she's like, nah, girl, we're coming back. And it's so funny, but I'm grateful for the opportunities, because she has opened so many doors for me. She really has.
Yeah.
And I feel oddly protective over her. I'm like, no, don't just chalk her up to one scandal. Like, woman made so many movies. Like, stop. She did so much for women, and was such an amazing feminist at the time. So
that is amazing. Yeah. And I mean, she basically, she is an icon. I mean, who doesn't know about her? You know, even in the most like far away. I mean, wherever you go, if you mention her name, everybody just knows her.
Even now, and a lot of people don't know a lot of our classic Hollywood stars.
Yeah.
Which is sad to me, but I feel like there is something that has to keep old Hollywood alive. And I think that Marilyn does that for people, kind of like Lucy. Lucy does that for people too. And now I feel like there is a bit of a resurgence with Lucy as well right now, which is nice. But I think that there is something about these old Hollywood icons that we can't forget. We can't just say that they, okay, that happened, that existed. These were pioneers. These were people who we would not be where we are in this position right now without them.
Wow, that is amazing. Plus, you were in ESPN. That's cool.
Oh my God, that was my dream. Oh my gosh, it was my childhood dream to meet Charles Barkley and Shaq.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, when I saw that video, I was like, that's so cool.
Oh my gosh, they were so fun. They were just hilarious. I loved them. They were wonderful, and they were so They were so funny. And then Charles definitely clapped back because I'm a huge Dallas Mavericks fan. And he was like, well, I don't know why, because they suck. And I was like, but you used to piss me off as a kid because you were always like up Jordan's butt. And that was like the first time I ever watched finals, like NBA finals, was whenever it was the Phoenix Suns against the Chicago Bulls. And I would love it. And then Shaq and I had a whole talk about like San Antonio because he was like, oh, my baby mama went to Judson, and it was wonderful. I loved him so much. It was amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, that is so cool. Yeah, when I saw the video, I was like, that is so freaking awesome, you know?
Oh, they were true gems. They were just wonderful. I was like, I do not care what happens. I'm getting this. I'm gonna be there and do this. And you know, it's daunting whenever you see Jack Nicholson, because he's at every single Lakers game, and he was at the All-Stars game, and I saw him backstage, and it was this funny moment where I was just like, it's Jack Nicholson, oh my god. And I just kind of like froze, and he goes, hey gorgeous, and I was like, oh my god. I think that my heart just sank. Like, I think that every part of me just like went,
yeah. So awesome. That is so cool. That is amazing. And the fact that you were for example, for the ESPN one, that you were dressed as Marilyn Monroe.
Oh my god. It was so weird.
Amazing. I love that. I love that.
I was so nervous. I don't think I stopped sweating that day. I could not. I was so nervous, and that cake was so heavy. It was so heavy.
And was it real?
Oh yeah, it was a huge donut cake with Shaq's head on it. Like, it was huge. And at first they were gonna have somebody else carry it for me, and then they were like, oh yeah, no, you're gonna carry it. And then there's like, it's a grate to get up on the stairs, and so I was like, do not fall, do not trip, you're in heels. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like,
yeah, everybody's watching this right now. Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. I was like, you got this. This is your moment, just do it.
and I mean, and I would assume also that it was super difficult to carrying something heavy, and also to smile and kind of sing at the same time, you know, kind of to pretend that it's all right.
Yep. But you just gotta go with it.
I love it. That is so cool, Stephanie. I mean, as I mentioned before, I mean, you're doing everything, you know. It's amazing. I love it. I love your career so much. It is so cool.
Thank you. It's fun.
And at the moment, what has been, I mean, besides all of these amazing stories, what has been some of the highlight moments in your career?
I mean, oh my god, that was being on Inside the NBA was absolutely a dream. That was super fun. I have to say, like, I keep going back to it, but I think producing my first event has to be one of my absolute dreams, because it was something I never thought possible. And it was something that, like, being the perpetual performer for as long as I have, like, to challenge myself with my partners, for us to say, hey, let's do something, let's do this. And I mean, we got so much pushback from people were like, why do you want to do this? Are you, like, you realize this is going to be quite an undertaking? We were like, yeah, we know. And there was a little bit of doubt for a moment of like, maybe we shouldn't do this, maybe this isn't. But then we were like, no, we're full steam ahead, we're going to keep going, because something in us is telling us we need to do this. And once we did the first one, and now we have a blueprint for it, once the world kind of opens back up again for real, we know we can do it again, and we know we can make it better, and we know we can continue. And I feel like that sparked a whole other love for me that I didn't expect. And, you know, like I said, perpetual performer. I wasn't really interested in like technical theater, nothing like that. It was just acting, directing. That's what I want to do. But producing was just like, oh dang, I'm gonna put on my boss pants right now. Oh, this feels good. This feels right. They got the right fit. They are tailored to me. This is fantastic. And it was like, oh, okay, I'm building contracts. I didn't know I could do this. it was a challenge that I had never faced. I'm finding permits and doing things and having meetings with people.
Yeah.
And doing this like production work that I had only seen. And had done like, a little director type of atmosphere, but not as the boss, not as putting it all together, and to where it's on my shoulders. So like if it's a success, that's on us. If it's a failure, it's on us. And I'm very grateful to say it was a success.
I love it.
So
I love it. Yeah.
It's cool.
That is.
And now I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, once the whole world again start to open up, because I mean, right now we're with the sequel, which is awful. But like once everything's it's good to go now, I just can't wait to see what more stuff can you create.
I can't wait either, because I know it's not the end. Like, I think it's exhausting. Like, this is an exhausting time, but I think that what we all have to remember is, especially in entertainment, people need it. I mean, I gotta say, like, the fall, as far as live events have been concerned, I have never been busier in my life. Like, people needed entertainment. They wanted that escape. They wanted that escapism. They wanted something to hold on to. And I'm happy to provide it. Oh my God. But I was so crazy busy. At one point, my body was just like, no, girl, you have to stop. Like, you have to stop for a minute. And it was cool. Like, it was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not having anything to do for a year and a half, and now I'm going a little crazy. I need to chill out for a minute, and that's okay. But when we can be together again fully, like, I'm ready. Like, we have our blueprints. We are ready to go. And I'm stoked to get to have that opportunity to entertain the masses again.
I love it. That is such cool. And if you could describe your career at the moment on a movie, TV show, book, or even a play, why not? What would be the title of it?
Ooh. My Many Blondes or something. I don't know. Oh my God.
I like it. Yeah. That's a cool title.
Let's see. Be something about that. Let's see. Something unexpected. The Unexpected Blonde. I don't know. Something blonde with it. Something like it blonde. There it is.
And would it be a movie, TV show, book? What would it be?
I feel like it would be a book that turns into a TV show. Or a Lifetime movie. There we go.
Okay. I love it.
I feel like I actually do have a Lifetime movie I need to write. I need to make this happen.
I love it. Plus we can open the possibility for a possible sequel, or maybe do your own trilogy.
Oh my gosh. Wouldn't that be fabulous?
Yeah. Or like the Fast and Furious movies and making like 10 of it.
Right, there we go. Ooh, I like this. Thanks, Caitlin. Book to play. I like that. A book to play.
Yeah.
Good.
You can describe also your career, but now on a drink. Which one would you choose?
Now in a drink?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, to like make it into a drink? I mean, can I turn an East Side into the West Side? Because the East Side is my favorite drink ever, which if anybody knows what an East Side is, like, you should definitely comment. But if you don't, I'm here to tell you. It is gin, soda, Saint Germain, cucumber, mint, all muddled up. Oh, and lime, a little bit of lime.
Okay.
So it's like a gin mojito, and it is delicious. But we'll call it a West Side because I'm on the west side of town now. On the west side.
There you go. I love that. And like, my last question here is, what motivates you? You know, we all have those days in which we just want to stop, basically. You know, we think it's been a waste of time, that is not meant for us, that we are not in the position that we wanted to. Like, I mean, getting inside this toxic bubble, that's what I like to say. It's super easy, right? But what gets you out of it? You know, just to continue pursuing the thing that you love the most.
I think it's the joy that I actually feel in it. Because I do have those moments where I feel completely unmotivated. And I mean, even this week, I've slept I've slept for a lot of this week. Like, I've come home, even just last night, I came home and I was asleep on my couch by 9:30, which most people who know me, they're like, oh, you go to bed at 1. Like, and I slept till 8:30 this morning. It's been a rough time, but whenever I sit with myself and I'm just in it, and I can go do the filming of Marilyn's Dark Paradise, or I'm collaborating with my friend Carol, who is just this most phenomenal makeup artist, and I think she popped on here, but if you haven't followed Makeup by Carol S, like, please do, because she's absolutely an artist of all kinds. Like, I don't know a person who knows color theory the way this woman does, but whenever I think about what it is that I actually love to do, it's this. Like, and I know that I've had times whenever I'm not motivated to do a dang thing, not at all.
Yeah.
But it is the thing that gets me up out of bed. It's the thing that makes me say, okay, if I can bring that joy, once again, coming back to my core, helping and entertaining people, that's what I love to do. It's what I want to do with my life. And if there's a way to do that that's not through what I do, tell me. I'll do it. But I mean, otherwise, it's like a reason for me to live. It feeds my soul. It feeds who I am as a person, and I want to say I know that I'm great at it. So for once, I think I can actually say that. I couldn't always say that. So it's nice to say I'm at a point in my life where I know that I'm sought after. I know that what I am able to put out in the world is something that people want. So there must be a reason for that. And if it brings joy to people, that brings joy to me.
Wow. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Yep. But you know what? You definitely deserve me to drop the mic. I mean, I'm not gonna drop it, of course.
No,
I'm not gonna drop it, but you know what I mean.
I'll send you a new one.
No. Yeah, that's just. But you know what I mean. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, yeah. It's so. I mean, it's such cool the fact. Yeah, it's amazing. You know, it's so cool the fact that you are inspiring people here, that you are trying to send like a positive message, like to inspire people, like to entertain them. You know, as simple as some people think. I know it's not, and the fact that you are doing it, that is really cool. It is super inspiring, and also the fact that you are doing it, especially in these hard times, because I mean, it would be for a lot of people, it would be more easy to kind of focus on themselves, and that's it. But the fact that you're focusing on yourself, but also focusing on others by creating content and creating art, that is amazing. That is such inspiring, such cool. I mean, we definitely need more people in this world, like you in this world, like right now.
Well, thank you. I know that I get into my modes too, especially whenever it comes to social media, where I'm like, I need to be in my like little private hole and like not share and not do things, because it's not perfect. I'm not going to share this photo or this video because it's not exactly perfect. And I get into those modes too, and I need to stop, because then I'm not putting out as much as I probably should. But at the same time, then I'm like, I'm still saving stuff for myself. Like, and I think that that's important right now, is that we're all doing the best that we can. And I think we all kind of have to save a little part of ourselves for ourselves. Because right now I feel like this is just asking so much of us. Like, this time is just exhausting. It's like I go, and that's the thing. Like, I didn't used to be like this. I used to be like just the most extroverted person. Like, I could go and entertain and then be like, okay, I'm ready for a party. Like, I'm ready. Like, I would get so much energy from just being around people
Yeah.
and not need solitude. And now, like, I think it's not even just like the pandemic. I think it's in the past 5 years, I have relished my solitude and like resetting and saying, okay, I need to do this for me. And it's filling your own cup and knowing what you need as not just a performer, but as a person and as a, you know, as an individual, and saying, this is how I can fill my own cup in order to be there for everybody else, in order to, you know, I mean, I hear this all the time, you know, put on your own mask before you're going to put on someone else's, like, you know, get your own oxygen first. And that really keeps resonating with me. I keep hearing that over and over and over, because, you know, we can't be everything to everybody. And I think that in a lot of ways, especially like with performers and entertainers, like there is this pressure to put things out there all the time, to constantly be posting on social media, to constantly be putting out content, to constantly be doing. And I just can't. So I don't. I have to take that time for myself and for my family, and to be doing the stuff that will reset me, so that whenever I am on and I am in it completely. That way you get the best show from me, because otherwise I'm gonna suck. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, and let's be honest, it's impossible for you to not have a perfect show. You know, everything you do here, as I mentioned, it's super cool. It's amazing. I love it.
I don't know about that. I've had a couple of not been that great, but I appreciate you saying that.
But there's no evidence of it. You know what I mean? So nobody knows. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully nobody has put that online and they can't see it, because I have the asthma, and one time it was really bad. It was right in the middle of a show, and it was really bad. I won't lie. But that's just me being completely honest. So.
That's cool. That is cool. I love it. But like, Stephanie, what can I say? I mean, at the end of the day, you are dropping the mic every day. That is so cool what you do. It is amazing. Your career, as I mentioned here, it is super inspirational. The fact that you have accomplished so many cool things, you have like so many cool stories, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, it's impossible not to be already pumped up and good to go for the day by watching all the things that you do, because it is inspirational. It is super cool. It's amazing. And also, I want to thank those who are watching. It is super amazing. Thank you so much. If you are watching this now or later, or YouTube, or listening to Spotify or Apple Music, make sure that you follow Stephanie on all the social media. If you're already following her, that's fantastic. But now you're gonna leave 1 million likes. You're gonna share content. I mean, let's make sure everybody knows about Stephanie right now. Let's make her trendy. Hashtag Keep Stephanie, like right now. Let's make her trendy in LA. Then let's move to Texas. Then let's move to Chicago. Let's move to the whole country, and then let's just switch to another one. Why not?
Oh my gosh.
It is amazing. It is amazing, Stephanie. I can't wait to see more of your awesome career, and I'm super sure that in the future, everything that you're gonna create in the future, it's gonna be super awesome, because you're super awesome. It's amazing. And before I send you off, you know what I have to do. You know what is coming. So.
Okay. All right. I'm ready. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dan, I swear, you're inspiring as you are. Like, I keep you around all the time, and I just feel automatically better about everything.
There you go. Yes. Perfect. So keep killing it, keeping awesome, keeping amazing, keep inspiring people, and I'll see you in the next one.
All right, good sir. You take care. Thank you so much. You're a gem. Have a wonderful day. And thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah, also thank you for watching. Have a good one.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.